Bedridden 80-year-old perishes in Westmoreland house fire. An 80-year-old woman, deemed bedridden, perishes in a house fire in her community of Brent Savannah, Westmoreland over the weekend. The deceased has been identified as Maris Kennedy. Reports from the Frome police indicate that around 8:45 p.m. on Saturday, Kennedy was left at home with a lit kerosene lamp. Later, residents informed a relative that the house was on fire. Reporters understand that the fire department was contacted and a cooling down operation was carried out. The scene was processed and the elderly woman's charred remains were found among the debris. Kennedy's death brings the number of elderly persons in Westmoreland who have died as a result of fire in recent times to 3. Investigations are ongoing. Man shot during machete attack on cops at police station in Hanover. 2 female cops had to flee for their lives when a man reportedly attacked them with a machete at the Lucy police station in Hanover Monday morning. The man was later shot and injured after he also attempted to attack a sergeant, the police stated. The injured man, whose name police have declined to release as he has not been charged, has since been hospitalized but is expected to be booked for the attacks. Information reaching reporters indicated that around 8:40 a.m., a woman constable concluded her duty and left the police station. Upon reaching a short distance away, she was accosted by a man with a machete. The man reportedly ran towards her with the machete in his hand. She ran into the police station's guard room and screamed for assistance. The man reportedly followed her and approached another woman constable who was sitting at the front desk. That woman fled to an office at the station. The sergeant, who was on supervision duty, was walking along the roadway when he heard the commotion and approached the guard room. Upon reaching the guard room's entrance, he was reportedly met by the attacker who had the machete in his right hand. The sergeant instructed the man to drop the machete, but he disobeyed. The man raised the weapon, advanced towards the sub-officer and threatened to blood him up. The sergeant, in fear of his life, immediately pulled his service pistol and discharged 2 rounds in the direction of the man, who fell at the front of the station clutching the machete. The machete was retrieved from him. It was observed that he was suffering from gunshot wounds to the upper body. He was rushed to hospital and admitted in serious condition. None of the cops were hurt during the ordeal, the police stated. Policeman under probe for alleged assault of man in St. Elizabeth. A police sergeant attached to the Portmore Police is under investigation by the Independent Commission of Investigations Indicom, following allegations that he used his service pistol to assault a man during a domestic dispute in St. Elizabeth on Sunday. He is also accused of discharging his weapon in the incident, which occurred in Flaggerman Square in the Pedro Plains area. Reporters were informed that the sergeant and the man got into an alleged confrontation about 12:45 a.m. It's alleged that the sergeant used his weapon to hit the man in the face several times, causing severe injury. Investigators say he also discharged 2 rounds from his weapon in a public space. The incident was reported to the St. Elizabeth Police. The sergeant's weapon has since been seized by Indicom. Woman perishes in house fire in Clarendon. A woman perished in a house fire in Clarendon over the weekend. Dead is 29-year-old Rosemary McKay, a bartender of Roden Hall, Clarendon. McKay was killed in the latest incident on Sunday. Reports from the Coffs Hill Police are that about 1:50 a.m., McKay was at home with a relative when smoke was seen coming from her 1-bedroom dwelling. Residents reportedly tried to put out the blaze, but their attempts were futile. The fire department was contacted, and after cooling down operations, McKay's charred remains were found among the rubble. The relative has not been seen since. Party supporters urged to exercise caution while traveling in motorcades during election campaign period. Transport Minister Darrell Voss is urging party supporters to exercise caution while traveling in motorcades during the election campaign period. His appeal follows an incident in St. Thomas on nomination day last Thursday, which left a supporter of the Jamaica Labour Party seriously injured. Noting the enthusiasm of persons in supporting their party, Mr. Voss is urging safety while riding in motorcades over the next 2 weeks. The Transport Minister said there are consequences for irresponsible actions.
I want all of you on both sides to enjoy the festivities associated with a hopefully peaceful campaign. But most of all, I want you to be safe. I'm therefore appealing to everyone to consider safety when riding vehicles in motorcades. Please do not hang out any part of your body through windows or doors. We already saw what took place in St. Thomas with an unfortunate incident. And even in Portland, I witnessed the same on nomination day. It is imperative that you take your safety in your own hands, despite the fact that obviously you want to enjoy the festivities associated with the campaign. But your safety is paramount. I plead, appeal, and beg you just to think about the consequences of irresponsible actions while campaigning. Enjoy and have a peaceful and safe campaign over the next 2 weeks.
PNP hits back at PM's claims it adopted government's $1.5 million income tax threshold plan despite being against it years ago. The opposition People's National Party PNP has hit back at the Prime Minister's recent claims that it adopted the government's $1.5 million income tax threshold plan as its own despite being against it years ago. The tax plan was a promise made by the Jamaica Labour Party JLP head of the 2016 general polls. Although it was implemented when the JLP won the election, the opposition argued at the time that the move would not augur well for the economy. The matter was again brought to the fore in Trelawney on Saturday as Prime Minister Andrew Holness, who was addressing supporters, made another promise to implement a newer version of the $1.5 million income tax threshold. The announcement of the new version, dubbed 1.5 2.0, comes ahead of the February 26 local government election. During his recent address, Mr. Holness also bashed the PNP for the stance it now has taken on the 1.5, which he said was initiated by his administration. Speaking with reporters, opposition spokesperson on finance Dylan Robinson explained that the party's initial lack of support for the tax plan stemmed from a concern that the JLP was imposing additional taxes for Jamaicans. Mr. Robinson also asserted that no idea is owned by the Prime Minister and his administration.
To facilitate the 1.5, the government had to impose $30 billion of additional taxes in consumption. And that was the basis of our criticism, because they did not do what they said they would do, which was do it without any additional taxes. But we support, and we have been advocating for an adjustment in the threshold so that you can bring back the purchasing power that people had in 2016 back to 2024. And so I don't know what that figure is. The opposition has said it should be at least $2.5 to $3 million because of the impact that inflation has had. And what you would have had in 2016 can't purchase what you can purchase now in 2024. The first thing is that the Prime Minister and this government doesn't have any propriety to any idea. The reality is that since 2016, inflation has gone up significantly, and there needs to be an adjustment to bring back to 2016 levels the purchasing power that people would have had. So the opposition leader from 2 years ago has called for an adjustment in the income tax threshold to take account of inflation since 2016. He has said that for the last 2 years.
Cocaine valued at US $70,000 seized in Manchester, 2 arrested. Police are reporting that 2 people are under investigation following their arrest in connection with the seizure of 2.0 kgs of cocaine in Mandeville, Manchester on Sunday. Police said about 7 p.m. a search of a motor car was conducted with 2 people on board, leading to the discovery of the cocaine hidden under the driver's seat. Police said the cocaine had an estimated street value of US $70,000. Police said the 2 suspects were taken under arrest on reasonable suspicion of breaches of the Dangerous Drug Act, and their names are being withheld pending further investigations. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.